Om Swastiastu, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, salam sejahtera bagi kita semua, Namo Buddhaya, salam harmoni. Hello Miss Ari, Miss Surya, and all of my friends. Today we would like to discuss about our previous analysis based on the 10 reflection question. But first, let me introduce our group members. The first one, myself, Nika Devriska Ayu Widiawati, and then my partners are Nyoman Arina Putrisari and Niputu Tatik Aryani. Okay, let's get started. Hello, guys. Okay, today we would like to discuss. Let's start from the first question. How did you do the previous analysis? So what do you think, guys?
Me, Priska?
Yes, Tati.
I think we do the previous analysis by discussion first in our group about the poetry elements, and then we search a poem to analyze. We have found a poem entitled Feelings by Jupan. We analyze the elements of that poem step by step. First, we read the poem and then we take a note the important part of the poem. We try to understand the meaning, and after we analyze, we explain our analysis result using PowerPoint and make a video on it. We upload this video on YouTube and copy the link on the file Word being submitted. That's all about from me, Priska. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tati. Yeah, I think that's right. Very complete, yeah, right? And then the next question: are there some steps missing on the process of analyzing the poem? So how do you think, guys?
Me, Praise.
Yeah, Arina.
I think the step missing on the process of analyzing the poem before is after we watch the video, we realize that there are one step missing on our process of analyzing the poem. That is the 5 step. Make the poem your own. We haven't choose our favorite line of the poem and determine what we feel after read that line. I think the step is missing from we analyze the poem before.
Yeah, okay, Arina, thank you. So there is one step missing on our process, right? And then the next question: is there any step that you did which facilitates you better in your interpretation? So I will answer this question. I think yes, there is a step that make us easier when analyzing the poem, that is read closely and carefully the poem. After we read and reread the poem, we can find the elements easier because we don't need to read the poem just once, because usually we cannot found the elements or understand the meaning of a poem with read it just once. In this step, we also take a note to the important words or clues which are make us easier to analyze the poem actually. How about you guys? Do you agree?
Yes, Priska.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, next question. Can group collaboration help you in poetry analysis process? How do you think, guys?
Me, Priska.
Yeah, Tati.
Okay, I think yes. Group collaboration help us in poetry analyze process because with group collaboration we can share our opinion each other, and sometimes we make a mistake then our group partners can clarify our mistake each other. Okay, that's all about from me. Thank you, Priska.
Thank you, Tati. That's right. I agree with you. And then the next question: did you find difficulties in your online or virtual collaboration? How do you think, guys?
Yes, of course. We find a difficult in our online filter collaborations because in our filter collaborations, we just discussion virtually and sometimes we have a trouble about the connections. Besides that, we cannot communicate directly or face to face. That's why these virtual collaborations make us difficult.
Oh yeah, Arina, I agree with you. I think that is the difficulties of virtual collaboration, right? And then the next question, what are tools that help you in finishing the previous analysis? So I will answer this question. Tools that help us in finishing the previous analysis are WhatsApp group, voice or video call, uh, via WhatsApp, and also Zoom or Google Meeting, computer, handphone, and application your card to edit our video. Okay, it's clear, I think. And then the next question, what are your plans to reanalysis the poem? Will you do the same step as before, or will you make adaptation from the video or articles learned in this meeting? So, what do you think, guys?
Me, Priska.
Yes, that's it.
Okay, I think we will make adaptation from the video on e-learning because there is one step missing on our previous analysis. That is the fifth step, make the form your own. We haven't choose our favorite line of the form and determine what we feel after read that line. So we will reanalyze our chosen poem based on the steps. Okay, that's all about from me, Priska.
Thank you, Tati. Yes, that's right. We have missing one step, right, in analysis of home. So, and then the next question: what are those steps of analysis and collaboration? So, guys, if you watch the video on e-learning, I think you know about this. Who want to answer?
Me, please.
Okay, Arina, please.
Okay. The step of analyzing and collaboration is first is pay attention to the poetry that we have chosen one. For example, pay attention to the title and also the picture on the poem. Read carefully the poem only. For example, or so we can share the meaning and we of course not confused about the meaning. The third one is read it carefully. When we read a poem, we will be able to determine the existing atmosphere and what atmosphere is being conveyed by the creator of the poem. For example, is when we see and pay attention to the word in the poem, then we can find out the feelings that the creators of the poem wants to convey. Next one is determine the type of form used. There are such as paying attention to the figurative language, the poem used, the rhyme and sound used. Lastly, looking back at the step, then we can make our own poetry. I think those steps of analyzing and collaborations on making a poetry. Thank you.
Thank you, Arina. Yes, very clear. And the next question, what are tools of virtual collaboration that work better for your group discussion? So I think I can answer this question. We think that tools of virtual collaboration that work better for our group discussion is WhatsApp group, voice or video call group WhatsApp, and also Zoom or Google Meeting because those platforms make our discussion much easier and doesn't complicate it. Besides that, there are also a negative impact from those platforms, right? But everything has their own negative and also positive impact. As long as when we're doing a discussion, we still feel comfortable. Okay, do you agree, guys?
Yes, Priska.
Yes, please.
Okay, next question. I question, did you enjoy learning? What do you think, guys?
Me,
I
Priska.
think yes. Yeah, Katik, please.
I think yes, of course, but we sometimes still confused about how to do tasks because of there are so many tools and it's become unmajestic. That's all about from me, Priska. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tati. I think that's the last question, and then about our analysis, previous analysis, uh, we think we have found all the elements of the poem, right? And then now we just analyze the step which is missing of our process of analyzing before in the previous, that is favorite line. And about the video of our analysis in the previous analysis, we will put that video in the end of this video. And then now we just next to the favorite line, that the step missing of our process. And uh, please wait a minute. I would like to share screen. So guys, could you see my PowerPoint?
Yes.
Yes, Priska.
Okay. Okay, here. Because just one step that missing of our process, that is uh, favorite line, to determine what is the favorite line of the poem. I think after we discussed before, the favorite line of this poem is in the fourth line in the first stanza. Being with you just feels so right. Yeah, this is our favorite lines, right? Um, after when we read that line, we feel the feelings. We know the feelings. We feel the feelings. At that time, we feel happy because we share the author's happiness, right? Are you agree, guys?
Yes, I'm
Yes,
agree.
I'm agree.
Yes. Okay. This is our favorite analysis. And just that, because only that step which is missing of our analysis process in the previous, and then we will um, next to the our previous video of analyzing the elements of the poem. Let's we watch together.
Om Swastiastu, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Namo Buddhaya, salam harmoni. Hello Miss Ari, Miss Surya, and all of my friends. Today we would like to describe about our analysis of elements of a poem. But first, let me introduce myself and my group members. My name is Nikada Priska Ayu Widiawati, and my partners are Niputu Tati Aryani and Agni Nyoman Arina Putrisari. So here we have a poem entitled Feelings by Joe Pye. We will analyze the element of that poem. There are three elements of a poetry or poem. The first one is figurative language, which is described by me, and the second one is about lines and rhythm, will be described by Tati, and the last one is about rhyme and sound, will be described by Arina. So let's start from figurative language. So in that poem, I have found three figurative language. Two of them are simile, and one of them is personification. Let's start from simile. I have found two simile in that poem. The first one is in the first line in second stanza. You make me feel like a queen. So the phrase like a queen here called simile because in that phrase contains the meaning of comparing the similarities between wife and queen. The phrase describes a wife feels treated like a queen because of her husband's deep love. And the second simile can be seen in the second line in second stanza, like being inside an awesome dream. That is called simile because in that sentence comparing the similarities between a wife's feelings and a wisdom dream. A wife in that poem feels like in a wisdom dream because she's really happy and loves her husband. And the last one is personification. I have found one personification of this poem, and we can see in the fourth line in second stanza, as the love that surrounds us continues to grow. So the word surrounds here called personification because that word contains meaning of express the action of non-human objects that are given human characteristic. In that line, describe love surrounds a wife and her husband. So love here seems like a human. Or love here seems like act like a human. And then the conclusion of this analysis about figurative language. So based on our analysis, the poem Feelings by Joe Pye, there are 3 figurative language. 2 are simile and 1 is personification. The poem describes the feelings of a human who loves her husband very much and feels very special. That's all about figurative language, and the next elements about lines and rhythm will be continued by Tatik. For Tatik, time is yours.
Okay, thank you Priska. First of all, my name is Niputu Tati Aryani. Here I will analyze of the poem Feelings by Joe Pye. Number 1, lines and stanza. The poem entitled Feelings above is divided into 3 stanza. In each stanza there are 4 lines. So the total line of the poem above is 12 lines. As we can see in the PowerPoint, in the first stanza there is a description of 1 line, and so on up to 4 lines. Likewise, stanza 2 and 3 are also the same. Okay, next slide. Okay, number 2 is caesura. Caesura saw a strong pause in poetry. The poet denotes the caesura with the symbol of a string. There are 3 types of caesura based on their position, namely initial, medial, and terminal. Early caesura occurs at the beginning of the line, while terminal caesura occurs at the end of the line, and the medial is in the middle of the line. In addition, there are also 2 types of caesura, namely masculine caesura, which follow stressed or accent syllables, while feminine caesura, which follow unstressed syllables. So in the poem Feelings, there are fragment breaks in stanza 1, 2, and 3. As we can see in the first stanza. In the first stanza, there are several breaks in each line of the poem. The pauses are found in the initial, middle, terminal, and beginning of the line. In addition, there are also unstressed syllables. As we can see in the first, second, and fourth lines, there is stress or pause, and the third line is unstressed. And in the second stanza, there are several breaks in each line of the poem. The pauses are found in the initial, middle, terminal, and beginning of the line. There are also unstressed syllables at the beginning of the line. As we can see in the second, third, and fourth lines, there is pressure or pause, and the first line is unstressed. And the last one, in the third stanza, there are several breaks in each line of the poem. The pauses are found in the initial, middle, terminal, and beginning of the line. As we can see in the first, second, and third, and fourth lines, there is pressure or pause. Okay, next slide. Number 3, rhythm. Rhythm is measured and beats are carefully placed so that choosing word is important. So we can see in the poem in the first stanza. In the first stanza, the first line has a pause and a soft tone. In the second line, there is a pause and the intonation is rising. In the third line, there are rising and falling intonation. And in the fourth line, there are pauses and falling intonation. In the second stanza, the first line has a soft tone. In the second line, there is a pause and the intonation is down. In the third line, there are pauses, rising and falling intonation. And in the fourth line, there are pauses and falling intonation. And in the last one, in the third stanza, the first line has a pause and an exciting tone. In the second line, there is a pause and the intonation is rising. In the third line, there are rising intonation, pause and down intonation. And the fourth line, there are soft tones, pauses and down intonation. Okay, next slide. Okay, number 4, cadency. Likewise, the cadency in the poem Feelings has several beats and the span of the poem. These beats are created by a pattern of stressed and unstressed syllable in a line of rhyme, almost the same as caesura. And the last one, number 5, metres. Meter is a style that is emphasized and not emphasized in the syllable of poetry. As in the first, second, and third stanza of the poem Feelings, there are several words that are stressed and unstressed. We can see in PowerPoint, such as the first stanza in the second line, namely feel links, and the second stanza in the second and third line, namely inside and all talk, and in the third stanza in the second line, namely children and growing.
Okay, the conclusion is, in the poem Feelings, there are 3 stanza and 12 lines. In the caesura and cadency, there are several tone stresses, namely at the beginning, in the middle, and at the terminal. There are even unstressed notes. While in this rhythm section, there is a rhythm tune, soft, the intonation rose, the intonation fell, and there were even some pauses in the lines of the poem. In addition, in the meter section of the poem, there are several stresses per word in each line in the poem. So, if the poem is understood more deeply, it will get the meaning of the poem. Okay, that's all about from me. Well, the next material will be explained by Arina. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity that already given to me. So in this video, I will telling you and explaining you about 5 types of rhyme and sound on poem. So the first one is there are alliterations. Alliterations on this poem is in the second line. It says feeling for. It starts with F word. The second is in line 5. It says make me start with M word. And in line 9 says that think the start with T word. And then the second type of rhyme and sound is consonant. Consonant on this poem is in the line 3 and 4. It says light and light. It ends with a non-vocal word that is T word. And then the next is in line 7 and 8. The word is know and grow. It ends with non-vocal word that is W word. W word. That is W word. In the line 9 and 10, it says holds and old. It ends with non-vocal word that is S word. But in this poem, there is no assonant word. And in this poem, there is also no onomatopoeia or a group of words that imitates the sound of the source it describes. Next one is texture. The texture on this poem is in the line 3. It says, I touch your face in the morning light. And then in the line 4, being with you just feels so light. And then in the line 5, you make me feel like I'm a queen. So the conclusion is, in this poem, there are 3 types of rhyme and sound that include on this portrait. That is alliterations, consonant, texture. But there is no assonance and onomatopoeia on this poem. This poem is very simple but have a deep meaning. Thank you so much. I hope you understand what we are explaining. So next is, we'll continue by Priska. Thank you so much for the opportunity that already given to me. So in this video, I will telling you and explaining you about 5 types of rhyme and sound on poem. So the first one is there are alliterations. Alliterations on this poem is in the second line. It says feeling for. It starts with F word. The second is in line 5. It says make me start with M word. And in line 9 says that think the start with T word. And then the second type of rhyme and sound is consonant. Consonant on this poem is in the line 3 and 4. It says light and light. It ends with a non-vocal word that is T word. And then the next is in line 7 and 8. The word is know and grow. It ends with non-vocal that is W word. In the line 9 and 10, it says holds and old. It ends with non-vocal word that is S word. But in this poem, there is no assonant word. And in this poem, there is also no onomatopoeia or a group of words that imitates the sound of the source it describes. Next one is texture. The texture on this poem is in the line 3. It says, I touch your face in the morning light. And then in the line 4, being with you just feels so light. And then in the line 5, you make me feel like I'm a queen. So the conclusion is, in this poem, there are 3 types of rhyme and sound that include on this portrait. That is alliterations, consonant, texture. But there is no assonance and onomatopoeia on this poem. This poem is very simple but have a deep meaning. Thank you so much. I hope you understand what we are explaining. So next is, we'll continue by Priska.
Well, that's all from our group. Hope you like this video and goodbye. Om Santi 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 Om. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Namo Buddhaya, salam harmoni.